C1, race 4. Now, the thing about starting or racing is you could do really well at this regatta and all of a sudden think that you are doing great. Or you could have rough moments and things that you learn that you need to work on really hard. And so for some of us, that's the case. Some of us, we've just struggled at the starts and things, and it's better to struggle and learn that we need to fix those things. Celeste, your main's a little over trimmed. So we might as well talk about gates. See these guys going parallel to the gates? Parallel to the gates? That indicates that this end right in front of me is more upwind. If this was a start, you would not be able to lay the pin on starboard tack, meaning that it is upwind. So as you're coming downwind, you'd be looking at this, you'd be looking at these flags, which are showing, again, for the day, these are showing left wind. So rounding this one, it's like a restart when you go around the gates. Now look at the green buoy. Again, let's talk about the current. I'm drifting with the wind a little, but watch, look at the land behind. Look at the trees on the hill. You're gonna see I was lined up with a house. Now I'm lined up with a red roof. And then I'm gonna move off of the red roof into the side of the building. Now I'm lined up with a tree on the hill. You see how fast I'm moving? Again, so remember that. This is why it's so hard here. It's not much fun, but it's incredible learning. This is like a college regatta. You gotta know how this current stuff works. But I'm moving it probably a third of a knot. Look at me, look at me. See the back of the boat? Look at me, look how fast I'm going. Pretty fast. So that's why this is so hard. This is decreasing the apparent wind. So it's moving me downwind, so it's making you so you have less wind. The leeboard and everything, you know, if you're not moving through the water and getting flow over your leeboard, you're essentially not moving. See how they're just not making progress over the ground? So you got to be good in these conditions at getting. Now the good news is at Nationals we're not going to have this much current, but the current still affects us. So we've got a sailing current so that we learn its impacts. And then even if we have little bit of current, we will know what the impact of it is on us. So after a good or a bad race, flags are blowing left again. After a good or a bad race, you'd immediately come back to the starting line. The real key to sailing is, like we talked about, we're going to sail like we're in first place all the time. And sometimes after a bad race, it's hard to stay on your game. You got to save points wherever you can. So here's the committee boat end. And I'm way above the line, but you drift over here. Watch the land. See the pin? So I'm way upwind of the line right now. I'm up current is what I am right now. This is what I'd be doing. And I'm going to get Kevin to do it. See how I'm drifting down? So I'm going to tell you when I'm on the line. Go behind me. Get right over here and drift. Just let the sail out and just drift. And just watch the pin. Okay, so I'm still way over. Okay, so now I'm going to drop down. I don't think the line has changed. Just below the line right now. So if I was having a bad regatta, I would go like this at 30 seconds with this pin favor. If it's the pin favor, I'd be going like this. 30, 29, 28, 27. Watch how I'm going to start drifting down. See how I'm drifting down? 20. And I'd have my main way out and just luffing. Anybody threatens me, I just try to head up and luff more. And the current's moving me kind of towards the pin and down. See how I'm dropping? Okay, 20. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, accelerate, 3, 2, 1, bam. Got it? That's what we got to work on. Long lines, line sights for the Nationals. Especially after general recalls, these work. Less than a minute to go for race 5. we would stand up in the boat. We're looking for light spots, which they're right here. This is glass right here. And we look for fast boats. I see left boats. Do you see lifted port tackers? I don't see anybody going fast, but at least, because fast boats means there's wind there. That's why you look for fast boats, and you look for holes. 30 seconds to go. They move the pin down now, so there's a new line sight, but the pin is still favored. Uh-oh, Maddie. Maddie's kind of stuck in here behind this green boat, but I think she's doing a good job of getting to windward. She tacked. Oh, pin's favored again. Wow. Now, I wouldn't stand up this late, but looks like there's decent wind up there. Not great, but a little more wind. These guys' sails are flapping a little, so there's a little more wind. So it won't be as hard to accelerate this time. But again, with the current, I mean, you can see me going sideways on the orange flag. Look at the land behind. See how I'm moving sideways? This is the B fleet. These would be ideal conditions to have a line sight in. But again, it's just all about starting at the pin. I think we're just going to have to decide to start at the pin. Oh, these boats are moving pretty good. So if you were at the start line and you looked at this, these guys right in the middle have some pretty good speed. So I would just be starting kind of up where 10160 is and just try to get moving. I'd tell you, I'd be going off the pin and trying to tack as soon as I could. Good, so here's Celeste is. She's looking back and forth, trying to make sure nobody gets too far ahead. She should start moving forward now. That kid's not over. He's not over. As soon as you see that, as soon as you see, he's not over, you got to get going. He's not over, you got to get going. Got to learn to look at the other boats. Okay, again, let yourself drift backwards for too long. And the only good news is that we are near the pin and that guy's not going to make the pin. You're still doing well. There we go. But again, when you see people ahead of you who aren't over, you got to start sailing. Got to start getting up there. It's a Sabot. The thing goes backwards. Nice. Okay, it worked out great.